Hey everybody, my name is Jake Smith. Welcome back to Rankr Esports Weekly for the 4th installment of the show. I'm once again joined by Josh and Louie. Why don't you guys say hey?
Hey guys, I'm Louie. I've been in a couple episodes before. Hopefully you recognize me, but if you didn't, I'm the stats guy here.
Hey, I'm Josh. I'm a web developer here at Rankr Esports.
And I'm Jake. I do a lot of visionary execution stuff at Rankr. But before we, really get into the show, we'd like to wish everyone a belated happy 20th anniversary for Pokemon.
Happy birthday, Pokemon.
While it's not a game that we have on our website, it's near and dear to our hearts. All of us played it for countless hours, and I've been replaying it.
It's the reason we originally bought a Game Boy, and the reason why I have a new DS coming today.
Yeah.
The power of Pokemon.
Yeah, so...
the power of Pokemon.
It's just funny. I think I've bought every new Nintendo thing for either Smash or Pokemon.
What about Pikmin, man?
Pikmin was great. I did love Pikmin. But if you have watched the show before, you know the drill. If you have not, what we like to do on the show is we like to talk about some industry stuff that's happening, some events that are coming up, and some Rankr Esports stuff because we like to share what we're making with everyone. So let's dive into the industry stuff. First things first, Forgiven from H2K. If you didn't see on Thursday's EULCS, Forgiven in an emotional interview found out that he has to take off from the LCS for 9 months to do required military training in his home country, which is Greece. So
Wasn't that a wake-up call, too? What a way to, wake up.
it was like he found out the morning of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, wake-up letter.
Like he found out the morning of and then had to go play in the LCS.
Wow.
Like I don't even function if I found out that like my lunch isn't ready for work or something.
Your pizza rolls?
Like if I left my lunch that I made for the next day on the table, so now I don't have it, that ruins my day. And I mean, I only have to come into work. He had to go play in the LCS.
Yeah,
Exactly. I mean, you could tell how much it bothered him.
I heard he played really well, too.
He played, you could tell something was off. Because, I mean, it is Forgiven, so when you look at his play, it's like the best.
Sure.
But that day, it wasn't the best. But, I mean,
Still
regardless,
better than a lot of people,
It was still a 2-0 week to maintain.
Still a 2-0 week.
In the EULCS.
and they had a 2-0 week with that on his shoulders. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could happen with it. Some are saying there's ways to get out of it by paying fines, pushing it off, whatnot.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's just terrible to see such a great player lose his chance at, winning Worlds, which is what he's been aiming for.
Yeah, and this is the second time he's missed out on that, too.
Yeah, he had a 4-game suspension at one point for toxicity. And, Forgiven just as a whole has reformed himself as a player to become what he is now.
In Europe.
Everyone forgave forgiveness.
He was actually forgiven
For his toxicity. Yeah, so it's tough. I mean, it's weird from American perspective because we don't understand the idea of getting a letter saying, hey, you need to join the army.
Yeah.
So it's something
Well,
foreign
not
to us.
yet.
So whatever happens, we just wish him the best.
Yeah, and to the entire H2K organization, I hope everything works out really well for them. So going from H2K to an esport that H2K is not involved in, Dota 2, if you didn't know, the Shanghai Major, the group stages happened last week. This week starting Tuesday night and Wednesday, the opposite time in China. The Shanghai Major is happening. The main event starts. It lasts until Tuesday night until Sunday night/morning.
Yeah, wherever you're watching this from.
Time zones, man.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
But it has been riddled with problems so far from a production standpoint and from a host standpoint. Quick recap: James Harding was let go mid-broadcast. They took a break and James Harding was there.
Came back
And he wasn't. Some of the issues include some porn jokes and then some other jokes that we don't really want to say on this show just due to the nature.
Made fun of a few players.
Yeah. So after all that, parental warning. Gabe Newell, as we refer to him as Gaben, Lord Gaben the Wallet Stealer. He went on record on Reddit saying that James Harding was an ass and they would never be working with him again. And on top of that, they also got rid of Perfect World, which was the company that was producing the event in China. So, big news, especially for one of the largest events of the year and mid-event.
Yeah.
So,
on one hand, I'm glad they got rid of Perfect World. The timing wasn't the best since it's in the middle of everything going on, and it just seems like a lot of drama for this event, and I hope it doesn't overshadow the event itself.
Yeah, it's too bad. Like, we love the event. Group stages were great. A lot of upsets of teams, like teams we didn't even hear of came out and got through the winner's bracket, but we're not here talking about the play of the event.
yeah.
We're talking about an inappropriate host and a inefficient production company.
Yeah, we're leading the problem on that by talking about that drama.
Well, for the
Sorry,
record,
folks.
if you do in here is not talk about that and talk about the games, we have a Shanghai Major special video going out, so stay tuned for that. But there were a ton of issues. I mean, audio issues, majorly, no pun intended.
See what
For
you
a
did
$3
there?
million prize pool event,
It needs
Yes.
to be well run.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so we don't blame them for it. It's just,
I mean, I do
we're
blame
glad they
Perfect
figured
World
it out.
for it.
We blame Perfect World. We don't blame Shanghai Major.
Yeah. I mean, it was audio problems. We were watching it just the other night for fun during group stages, and it was, does Valve know how to do audio, or is Perfect World just totally screwing it up? And it was Perfect World, because then everything came out.
Because Gabe's a god and it wouldn't be on
Oh
Valve.
no.
Gabe
Praise
does no
him.
wrong. But it's, I think Valve handled it semi-professionally. Obviously, James Harding made a statement saying Valve asked him to not make his statement, but then Valve made their statement. So on both sides, I feel like it could have been
Yeah.
handled a little bit more professionally.
They did say, they did tell him to act himself too,
Yes.
on stage, and he is just known for this kind of behavior.
Yeah.
And it's entertaining.
Well,
but
to contradict that, I think telling someone to act like themselves it's okay to a point. Like at
Sure.
some point, you should not make certain jokes in any professional situation.
I guess that's true for most things, but I'm sure that if they really cared about it, they should have probably put guidelines down.
Well, they probably said, like, act like yourself, but
But no porn
Yeah,
jokes.
I'm sure
no.
he did say
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
so then Harding just took it as, all right, I'm going to be 100% me no matter what stage
Sure,
I'm on.
sure.
Because
Yeah.
something like what he does is probably great for smaller events that don't have the traction, $1 million behind it.
Sure.
Yeah, and to wrap up the Shanghai Major talk, because of the production issues from Perfect World, I mean, the panel was on for an hour and a half, so they had to fill it. So it's in a really big gray area, but
Yeah.
I don't fault Valve for how they
Sure.
handled it. Nor do I really fault James Harding for
Yeah,
being
James
upset.
Harding, I thought did other than the problems with the jokes he made, he did a great job filling in the space. And
Yeah.
with the time he had.
Everyone really enjoyed him. But moving on, DraftKings, the daily fantasy sports platform that if you've watched any sports event, you have seen. They
Seen an ad. You watched 30 seconds.
They
on Sports
dropped
Network.
their sponsorships on all 6 esports teams. That includes TSM, CLG, SK Gaming, Mouse Sports, Complexity, and one more. I don't remember the last one.
Oh, man.
But
Failure.
I'll take 5 or 6. That's a B.
Is that,
Yeah,
can
I
we
mean,
get a
I
calculator? Can we
need-
get a stat check real
It's a
quick?
B. I'll take it. But they dropped their sponsorships of all of those organizations. So our sports guy.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I come from a traditional sport background, so DraftKings is something I know a lot about. And one way to look at it is that, yes, they do have a lot of lawsuits coming in, and that's what all you hear about them is about, but they're still making a lot of money. So you've had some scary lawsuits that come in and have even gone as far as asking DraftKings to give their money back to those who lost it. And then DraftKings, I feel like once they got into esports, it didn't pick up as much as they want. And now by them taking back their sponsorships, it's kind of just them assessing, seeing that's really not worth the risk and the money.
I could see it both ways because they definitely took their money out of those esports teams, but they also took a lot of money out of their ad game. And that's been huge since the beginning. And I just feel
It's
like
been nonstop since
yeah,
the beginning.
exactly. And I feel like you can either take it as something where they're assessing the esports situation, or they're they have lawsuits, and that costs a lot of money. These lawsuits drag on and on and on. So they could just be saving money too.
Yeah, like I said, it's just identifying sponsoring esports teams and just saying like it's not worth it. It's not worth the money that we're paying for. It's not worth the risk that'll come from later.
And
lawsuits.
there are other esports betting platforms such as Alpha Draft, Vulcan, Unicorn. Although Vulcan and Unicorn have kind of gone in separate directions with it. They still exist, but
did Alpha Draft get picked up by FanDuel too?
Yep.
Yes, but we need it's one of those things. It's a more traditional sports thing coming into esports, and we'll see how it ends up going. They may restart it someday, who knows? But moving on to another major event that also has had some issues, and we have to kind of go a little bit more quickly on this. MLG Columbus has had visa issues. Team Mongols are out because none of their players could come, and Team YP had to find a substitute. So, Josh, I know you are super excited for all of us are excited for Columbus.
Josh
but
especially.
Josh, I know you've got a lot. So if you just want a quick touch on this before we go to
Well, I mean, it's not really MLG's fault that it happened. They did all the proper steps, even went above and beyond to try to get their visas, but it really wasn't their decision. It's whoever's decision it was at the U.S. Embassy in Mongolia who grants those visas, and they pretty much, it's all about the legitimacy of the event itself. I guess they didn't think it was more of a legitimate event for somebody to take a round trip to America to play in, because that's what it's all about. They don't want people from other countries coming in and then just flying the coop or fleeing the coop. Is that it?
Staying
just
in
hiding
that
out in a
country.
farm in Montana.
Yeah,
or South
exactly.
Dakota as my go-to references,
So I guess
apparently.
they did all the steps. They bought tickets ahead of time. They sent letters. They sent legitimate documents saying that they're only here for this event. They even got an Ohio congressman to write to the embassy, and at the end of the day, they just got denied. And it's an unfortunate process, and it affects how tournaments from here on out play in North America.
Yeah, I mean, MLG Columbus is a major, and a team can't come because of visas. And it's happened in esports before.
Ask Echo Fox.
Ask Echo Fox, ask Unicorns of Love, ask really any team that has had to import players. It's happened. But, so events for the week. If you want to, we're not really going to talk much about Shanghai Major now because we do a full thing about it.
Coming out tonight.
Coming out.
And we got
yes.
24/7 coverage for the
Yes,
next
we will.
games.
We will have 24/7 coverage.
Guys on graveyard shift.
Yep, 10 p.m. to 9 a.m. in Wisconsin. It's going to be great. But so you can find that video later. Also, IEM Katowice is this weekend in Poland. So League of Legends and Counter-Strike and StarCraft, all global events.
A lot of great events going on.
Yeah, I mean, StarCraft, we generally know which region's going to win. South Korea, kind of tough to beat them.
You heard it here, folks.
Place your bets.
But yeah, well, I mean, it's always kind of been
Yeah.
that way. We're not blowing anyone's minds by saying that.
No, League will be really fun to see because, I mean, as you listen to everybody who's in the LCS, it all builds to international competitions. Like Immortals really could care less if they win NA. They're training for Worlds. This is just kind of like an organized practice schedule for
Sure.
them.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm pretty
Worlds
sure.
is the greatest thing you could possibly win.
Yeah, I
and it's
mean,
a international competition.
Pobelter in one of his interviews said, we can go 18-0 during the season, but that doesn't matter because we want to win Worlds. And Katowice is an international tournament. And also, Katowice is probably the largest CSGO tournament. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that all plays out. We will be covering that as well. So in some quick Rankr news before we have to go, our leaderboards that we've talked about will be going live on Thursday. We're really excited to have those out there, see people butt heads. And
get some competition on the site.
Yep, and I can't wait to knock all of the Rankr team out of the leaderboards.
Yeah, what game?
In all of the games.
Okay.
And then we will also be bringing out a lot of content this coming week. We're going to be doing an esports history podcast, so you can learn about esports from its inception, a lot of Shanghai Major stuff, and just, we really love pushing content, so we want to do that. But that's all the time we have for this week. So thank you for watching, everybody. And yeah, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you want to do something crazy, sign up for the website. And yeah, stay tuned for everything.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all.
Sign up at rankeresports.com to get ranked, build a team, and find events. Rankr, play together, win together.